I just played a game, which I'm going to show you now, where it was a battle about who can make use in the best way of their pieces together, to combine the strength of their pieces. It was a positional middle and end game, and yeah, it was full of trickery and potential blunders that could be made. So without further ado, let me show you what I mean. It was playing with, excuse me, pressed the wrong button. I was playing with white, and so as always with white, whenever possible, I tried to go for the G-Bubble London, but he's going for a I don't know, perk or something, or whatever it's called, fianchettoing his bishop. So the G-Bubble London doesn't really apply here anymore, I believe. So now I'm just developing some pieces, and nothing really major going on here. I was looking for tactics of maybe winning the queen, but this bishop cannot check the king. Say if this pawn wouldn't be here, I could take and then check this pawn and win the queen, but this isn't the way it was. So let's not linger about that too much. I was not quite sure what to do, and I didn't want to have the knight coming in here, and he offered me a bishop trade, and that was all fine by me. And obviously this bishop was looking at this pawn, and straight away yeah, I wouldn't have really mattered that much. I could have just gone here and then take this pawn, but still yeah, so there was 1, 2, oh excuse me, 1, 2, 3 defenders of this pawn, and only just 2 attackers. So I had to retreat, and obviously now he's looking at my queen, so I need to go for a safe square, and I wanted to move my knight, but my queen is undefended. So yeah, I did consider moving this, but I thought I was weakening my pawn, and I thought about it later on in the game also, but I don't think I did. So now I'm just looking at the queen. You missed an opportunity to kick the queen. Yeah, I did think about this, but I thought like this is gonna be like a very weak isolated pawn, and my queen and my rook needs to be there to defend it. I didn't like it. Now he offers me a trade, and well, he was more active, and I thought like let's trade, but I think maybe in hindsight it was a bit tricky, because now he's way more active than I am, and I can't go here, and I couldn't find a way to bring my how do you say this? To bring any defender to this square. Like I don't have a light squared bishop in order to trade off the knights. I mean the rooks, because I wanted this rook gone. But in order for me to cover this square with my knight, I have to be either here or here, and there's pawns there, or here or here. So there was no way for me to get rid of this rook, which was really nasty. So at least I got to chase the rook away, but he just dropped down 1 spot, and I had to defend this. And I'm not sure why I thought maybe he takes and I can recapture, but he's now looking at this pawn. I didn't even realize it, but yeah, it's a poison pawn. He can't take this pawn, and if you're not quite sure why, you'll see in a minute. But I wasn't even thinking about that. All I wanted is to yeah, to make some space so I can breathe and develop some pieces and get some attack going myself, because I'm just defending and reacting, and I don't like that. So I teased the rook away, and he took, and this is a blunder. And so the reason this is a blunder, and I didn't even realize it, I thought like, okay, well, you have one pawn, you can't take this pawn or that pawn, and I can just bring down my bishop and forking the rook and the pawn, and he needs to step out of the way, and I can get this pawn. But I didn't even realize that I trapped the rook, or he got himself trapped. That's even more accurate, because obviously, yes, he can take, but he's losing a rook. He can go here, but I'm just going to take it. He can take this pawn, I'm just going to take it. He can drop down here, I'm going to take it with my king. So he has no squares to go to, and he went for the option to sacrifice his rook for a knight, and he obviously won a pawn, so he won 4 points, he lost 2 points, but this pawn is going to be a target, and I got them 1 pawn back, so it's actually 5 points for 3 points, and this one is going to fall quite soon also. But now we're getting into the part where I need to see if I can work together with the bishop and the rook, and he needs to see if he can combine the power of the knight and the bishop. So I'm up slightly, 2 points. So a rook for a minor piece, a rook for a knight. And this pawn is obviously very weak. So yeah, I drop back, obviously because I was attacked. And my opponent defends this pawn. And I did consider going here first. And in hindsight, I might have been a better option, because this pawn isn't going anywhere, and I decided to block it. But then he gets to fork the bishop and the pawn. Let me have a look. I am up 4.5 points here, so I'm very well winning here. It didn't feel like it, but I was. No, Stockfish. Okay, so I did the right thing. Stockfish doesn't think this is the right idea. So maybe it's because he goes here. I take, he takes. And yeah, then I need to defend. Oh, hang on, I'm actually in a 4 position. Wow, okay. Yeah. Okay, so that wouldn't have worked at all. Hang on, sorry. Yeah, I actually can't take it. I need to. Yeah, oh, that wouldn't have been good. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't do it. Yeah, I just thought I can always do it later on, but I need to defend this pawn first from pushing. And now he got active with forking my bishop and my pawn, and I can defend it, but I have to be all passive. So he says just to trade. Yeah, because we end up trading anyway, this pawn for that pawn, because now he pushes and I take and he takes, and he is attacking my my rook. So now he steps back, looking at my bishop. So actually, well, his bishop is doing great work eyeing in this pawn, so I need to defend this, and the knight is being a pain in the ass by taking stuff and putting pressure on some stuff. So I thought, like, let's give a check. Okay, not quite sure why this doesn't work, because now I knew it was going to lose me a pawn, but I was up 2 pawns, and yeah, so I guess in this position his working together is better, to be fair, but he doesn't take. He's attacking my my rook. So first to give a check was just a waste of a move, basically. So now I defend my bishop and the pawn, but that one is dropping also, and at least I can yeah, I thought like I need to get out of this pony nightmare and defend this pawn also, because this pony was a real nightmare. He's really great. He was really good with the knight, even though this is not what he wanted. Okay. Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to, and I felt like he can have my bishop. If he wants to trade down, please do so. Get rid of this pesky knight, because it was really annoying. And I thought like I need to get it off the dark square, so the bishop can't take it. Yeah, he wanted the bishop to be gone anyway. So then he made a mistake. But yeah, I did actually consider doing this. I'm doing this later, and when I'm doing it, Stockfish recommends it now, but when I do it later, Stockfish doesn't like it. So this is the weird stuff about Stockfish. But maybe it's to do with that the pawn is in a different spot, I don't know. So now I go give a check. He goes back, and now I bring my bishop here, and Stockfish thinks this is a mistake. So first it was the best option, and now it's a mistake, because I'm now basically looking at this and this, at least getting a trade. So I was trying to really get a trade to get one of the pieces down to get into an endgame with a rook versus a minor piece, because I thought that's probably gonna win me the game with a rook versus a minor piece. So he attacks my rook, but I can just give a check and at least trade one minor piece, and then I can give a check and win a pawn. And now we're kind of cruising, because I'm up 2 points, which is basically pawns are equal, but I have a stronger piece. I have a rook versus a knight. But mind you, the knight was still very annoying and very tricky. And I thought like as long as I can push this pawn far enough, I can sacrifice my rook maybe for the pawn. So first go behind the pawn, and then defend my pawn. I knew I was gonna lose this pawn anyway, because it's got two defenders and there's only one attacker, and he's way more active with his king. So I needed to find a way to change that around. So I thought this pawn is not gonna stay alive anyway, so get this pawn. So now I can focus all my attention on these 3 pawns with my rook. So that's what I do. So I go up here, and now this is easy, because if he pushes this pawn, I can take this, and if he pushes this pawn, I can take that one. So now it's 3 pawns against 2 pawns, and a rook versus a knight. And all I had to do is bring my king into the game, because that's not very active. And so we're trading some stuff down and kicking the knight and making the king move. So now I'm finally getting to be more active, and now I'm in the driving seat, and I'm up 4 points. I was down a little bit. I've never been in trouble. Well, somewhere in the beginning, in the opening game. Yeah. So now I'm actually saying, well, you can't take this because then you lose your knight. So I had to move the knight, and now we can check the king. So he needs to move, so I can come in closer. And now blocking off. But then I thought like, hang on, we need to get rid of this knight also, so I can take this pawn. So he needs to step away. So I grab myself a pawn. So now basically I cannot lose anymore, because you can't checkmate me with just a knight. So I knew I was at least a draw, not a loss. And I thought like, I need to find a way to exchange my rook for the knight, and then just cruise these 2 pawns up the board. But then he just kept checking me, and there's a trick which I didn't think about at this stage in the game. A way to avoid checks for like 4 or 5 turns, because he keeps checking me, and there's like you have to look at the box of 9 squares, and you need to get to the diagonal opposite of the knight. And I didn't do this, so I went there so he could check me again. So what I could have done, rather than go here, is go here, and then I think it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it takes a lot of turns before you can actually check you again, and then you can start doing other stuff with your rook and advance the pawns of the board. But I didn't see it, or I didn't think of it. I was just trying to find a way to get out of the checks and maybe even trap the knight. And he just kept being annoying. But now he wasn't trapped just yet, so I was quite surprised by this, because already I can just take it. But he'd have to go here. He can't go there because obviously he's going to be taken by the pawn. He can't go here. He can't go here. He can't go here. He can't go here. So the only space is this square. And I thought he was going to go there and put some pressure on my rook again. So, but I think if he would have done this, then I think then he trapped himself, because now, yeah, now the knight obviously can only go here and here and here, and these two squares are protected by the rook, and this by the king. So maybe he realized this and thought like, well, excuse me. So maybe he realized it and thought like, well, at least I get a pawn out of it. And then I thought like, well, this is obviously gonna win no matter what, because she can check me with the king, and a rook, and I had 4 minutes left, plenty of time. Online, I played a game yesterday where I didn't get to this part, but I might have looked like I had to checkmate my opponent with 4 minutes on the clock over the board, which is more difficult than online, I find, because already you can move quicker with the mouse and stuff, and you don't have to press the clock all the time. And so I thought like, bring the rook over here and make the king that he can only move on the H file. And then for whatever reason he stepped here, and that's just a checkmate. So yeah, my opponent did a good job, specifically with the knight. He was really annoying with his knight. He really knew his way around with the knight, and I was struggling, but and obviously I had to look out for all kinds of forks, which the knights are very notorious for, forking your king and the rook, so I had to stay far away from each other or close by, but then on different colored squares, so at least I wouldn't be getting into a fork. And I needed to look out for pawn forks also, but I survived and I won the game. So hope you like this video, and if you do, please like it, leave a comment if you want, share the video if you think it's of benefit to someone, or if someone would like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching again. Bye bye.